Hello, welcome people. Welcome to the Progressive Mind. Tonight I will be your host. Alinko is the name, and I will be talking. We are talking business promotion. This is the Business Promotion Forum where we promote our local businesses and people who are doing embarking on projects that concerns people. So it's not necessarily just business, but initiatives and projects and community work that uplifts our community is what we are interested in on the Business Promotion Forum. That being said, to my immediate right is Anthony Ponza. He is a freelance financial group investor, Freeport Financial Group investor and educator. The man has evolved from a financial advisor. Now he's an educator and he's an investor. He just doesn't want to tell you, oh, go and put money. You want to save some money? Okay, bring it to me. Let me buy some index fund for you, or let me invest it in Bitcoin for you. No, he wants to show you how you can grow your own money. And that's what we need in our community right now. Anthony Ponza is my right. And then next to Anthony Ponza, who is popularly known as Ask Anthony, is Kenny Kenesi. Kenny Kenesi is the co-founder and director of operations with MetroRite Technology LLC. In a few minutes, we'll get to know what MetroRite Technologies is. And then next to him is the beautiful lady who I call my own sister and my friend, my alumni, a lot. She's Belinda Timpo. Belinda Timpo is popular in the Ghanaian community because of what she does. She is the owner of Belinda Timpo Weddings and Events. Did I get it right? Okay. When I come to you, you correct it. All right. Okay. She's the lead planner and event stylist. She's also the owner of Belinda Timpo Weddings. And then next to Belinda Timpo is Yolanda Piper. She is a union steward with the SEIU Local 1. She also wears a lot of hats, but we'll let her tell us the other hats that she wears. Let me start with you. No, ladies first, so I can do that. All right. I'll start with from my extreme left. Yolanda, tell us why you are here today.
I'm here today to talk about SEIU Local 1. First of all, again, my name is Yolanda Piper, and I am a member of SEIU Local 1 as well as a union steward of all the security officers of downtown. I currently work at the Thompson Center. Okay. Today I had an interview and we talked about issues like workers' rights. Okay, and what we do, we hold big companies accountable to the contract. We're for working people, we're for equality, and I fight for justice. Okay, and I use SEIU Local 1. Sometimes we can use them as political power, but we hold them accountable to the contract for working people. There is a scripture that says the workman is due his pay. So if you can hold us accountable to show up and honor the contract, then we can hold you accountable to do what's right for working people.
Okay. Yolanda, before I go to the next guest, if Yolanda is not working for SEIU, what else does she like to do?
When I'm not working for SEIU, I am working for Allied Universal Security at 19 years of service. I have a associate's degree in criminal justice. I graduated with honors, and I'm pursuing my bachelor's at Chicago State. Okay?
You're pursuing your bachelor's right now?
Actually. Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. And you said you already have a bachelor's in criminal justice?
No, I have an associate's degree. I graduated with honors.
Associate degree in criminal justice?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, you work with the state building here in downtown?
Yes, I work with the state building, and I protect people like, if I may say, Jesse White. Okay. And other constituents.
Very important people.
Very important people.
Like me.
Like me.
Well,
yes.
No, yes.
You saw me there.
I saw you there. I saw you there. No, I was just joking with but yeah, you protect very important people in the community.
Yes.
And so a very, very significant key people. But of course, just one person you mentioned. We'll leave the rest. But yes. In that simple, tell us. First of all, what gave you I know you represent Belinda Timpo, so how did you get to Belinda Timpo Weddings? And if you can correct us with the name, if I'm not getting the name right, tell us exactly what the name is and how you got to this place.
Well, thank you for, you know.
And don't worry, because the mics are being shared, you can pull it to yourself all the way.
Okay,
Pull it all the way.
Alrighty, but first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you for granting each and every one of us a great opportunity to come here and get to talk about business in the African community and also our individual businesses. So
Right.
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now, to answer your question about how did Belinda Temple Weddings and Events evolve?
Right.
Well, it's a long story, and to cut it short, because I know we probably don't have enough time.
Right.
But to cut it short, wedding planning for me started in 2010 when I planned my own wedding, and I can relate to the challenges that comes with planning a wedding. And back then in 2010, I had to manage the task of planning weddings along with preparing for an exam. It's just a very stressful process. So realizing that challenge, one of our goals for Belinda Temple Weddings and Events is to sort of alleviate the stress of wedding planning from our clients and, help them streamline the wedding planning process, and also to create a memorable and smooth wedding planning experience for our clients. So in a nutshell, that's how Belinda Temple Weddings and Events evolved, for the main reason of alleviating stress for other wedding clients.
That's beautiful. Does that mean, did you plan your own wedding? Because I know you had a very beautiful wedding.
Yes, I did.
So you planned all that yourself?
Yeah, I mean, of course, planning a wedding does not come with just one individual.
Right.
You need a network of supporters who can actually help you through the process. So other people are fortunate to have people who can help them, others are not. So I guess that's where the services of a wedding planner comes in place. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't have enough network of friends or family who are highly organized to help you with your wedding planning, then I guess the alternative for you would be to seek professional services, and that's why we're here.
Good. Okay. Brilliant. Look, the way you articulated your company, I feel like hiring your services already.
Well, of course, you should hire us.
Mr. Kenny, you're already married?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was going to say you have a potential, wedding planner.
Unfortunately.
Well, guess what? It extends to friends and family, so it doesn't say just you.
Okay.
It's open to anyone you know. So.
He already got you.
So you're not completely off the hook, is my point.
Don't worry, having my daughter is 20 years, wait 5 years.
Okay. Kenny, tell us, first of all, who is this gentleman? I met you with Ask a couple of weeks ago. You sounded very smart and intelligent. I've never seen you in the community before, but the ideas and the things you were spilling out regarding business, I'm like, is this guy an African? Because we seldomly come across young Africans who dream and talk big and actually try to walk the talk. So who is Kenny in a nutshell? And then we can talk about the company you represent.
Actually, my name is Kenny Kennese. My name is Kenny Kennese. Actually, I'm born in Burundi. It's just a small country.
Yeah.
But with big problem.
Okay.
But I was very smart enough to get out from it.
Okay.
Now I am here. When I tell you my background, I went to Loyola. That's where I completed my bachelor's degree in psychology, business administration, and human resources. And I went to grad school to study public health. And at this point, I'm following my doctorate in epidemiology. So the reason I'm here, I'm just representing Metroid technology. It's cutting edge for Africans technology, because most people think the African cannot create, but we are here, we create something very important, like each and everyone can be proud of. The technology, the technology we created, it's a platform. We just provide technology. We are not ride sharing like Uber or Lyft or another technology. We provide this technology to taxi companies because we do understand that there is a missing point in taxi companies. Because of ride sharing, those guys don't have much power. They cannot connect point to point B compared to others share riding. So what we did, we decided to create that platform so that the taxi companies can have that technology for free. Imagine.
Okay.
We spent 5 years creating that technology, but we decided to give it free so that each and one can have income.
Okay.
So it's going to help the taxi company and the drivers to create enough customer acquisition and increase income for their families.
All right. Okay. So it sounds good, but we would like to get a little more details because it's huge for you to, for everybody. I'm sure myself, I'm not able to divulge everything you've said right now. But I'm still thinking about, so it sounds very good, and I'm interested in knowing more, and I'm sure the audience, folks that are listening, are interested as well. Anthony, we've been working together as a community person. You were very, very known, but I'm sure there are some new people who have just joined us and would like to know you. So in a nutshell, give us a brief description of who Anthony is, what you represent, and why you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Linko, for this opportunity. Thank you, WGHC, for giving us this platform to communicate and share ideas this evening. Really appreciate that, and to the rest of the panelists also. My background is in finance. Like you said, my name is Anthony Ponza, and I've been in the finance space for well over a decade plus now. And I'm married with two wonderful little girls.
I'd like you to come up a little bit.
I'm married with two wonderful little girls.
Yes.
And by nature, I'm an entrepreneur. So as an investor, I work in different fields in terms of real estate, in terms of helping people, in terms of business. In fact, I'm also an investor in Metro Ride, which we'll get a chance to share a little bit more about as we go along this program. But this evening, I'm representing Trade Nation University, which is an online academy that we put together to help people basically grow their income and have people tap into the financial markets. Because after years of working with people in terms of financial planning and consulting, insurance, investment, annuities, and all the like, one thing that I've come across is that people have an income problem rather than an expense problem. And what you hear from a lot of the financial planners is how to cut back and how to keep shrinking and keep cutting and keep cutting. But what we've come to realize is that successful people define the lifestyle that they want, and then they look for vehicles and opportunities to create that type of income in order to achieve it. So really what the solution is helping people fix that income issue rather than rather than advising them to basically abandon their dreams and their goals and to shrink it. So what we want to do is empower people by by giving them a skill set, especially people in our community, level the playing field, because now it's a race of skills. Who's willing to learn? And that's what we're doing, and we're very excited about that.
Okay. How is that going? You said it's a race of skill. Who is ready to learn? From your view of the community in which we reside in, and how has the response been to the school so far? What's the name of the school again?
Trade Nation University.
Trade Nation. Okay. Yeah. Trade Nation. So you started this year?
Ending of last year, mainly this year.
Mainly this
December
year.
Last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how the trajectory is looking like?
Well, I would say
with regards to people coming on board.
In the Chicagoland area, since December when we launched, we have close to about 500 students. Within, I would say, the immediate African, Ghanaian, Nigerian community, the responses has been a little bit tougher. In the broader African American community, I think the response is getting a little bit better. But I think what it is we face the same challenges, right? Which is that people understanding in terms of financial matters is very low. And really getting them to actually, first of all, have a belief in themselves and a willingness to actually aspire to want to do more, learn more, is also a tough issue. But nonetheless, I think, like I said, after years of helping people save and find ways to strategize and all those things, where we see the biggest need is to help people empower themselves to be able to grow their income. So I think it's a worthy cause. So despite the challenges, we're willing to continue to push on. And I think that we're in the information age, right? And the people are gradually waking up. So I think it's just a matter of just time. Keep pushing forward.
Okay. Before I come to Metro Ride, Yolanda, so you represent Sue Local 1. Okay.
Yes.
I know it's a challenge. It's one of WGAC challenges. We want a bigger studio. As you stated, they are new. We're also very new. We're only 2 years old, and the challenges is enormous, mainly capital resources. And that's why we always want our listeners to understand that we depend on their donations. We are 501c3, so anybody that donates to us helps us improve on our equipment here, helps us to keep doing the great work that we're doing. I assume we're doing the great work. And then to also, and then they can also write it off, for taxes.
Okay.
So it's wgacfm.org. If you're listening now, please visit our website and help us make a donation. So, what are some of the what is the current, what's the project right now? What's the current project that you're working on, and what would you like people to know about that project, and how would you want them to help if you need help?
My current project that we're working on now is promoting Toni Preckwinkle to become mayor of the city of Chicago.
Okay.
I'm out on the streets petitioning on her behalf. I'm speaking to officers, I'm speaking to the general public, and I'm collecting 45 signatures per day.
Okay.
And we are for her because she used to be a school teacher, okay? And what led her into politics was one of her students, unfortunately, was murdered. So she became an alderman to bring forth change. And then from there, as we all know, she's on the Board of Commissioners of Cook County. So we are supporting her.
Okay, so the Sioux Local One is supporting her.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name's Miranda Atkinson, and I'm a student. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm sorry, please go ahead with your question.
Oh, my question is, and I got a comment, is for Mr. Kenny. I like the idea about the Uber, but my only concern with the taxi cab company is it going to be safer? Have you all come up with a way that we're going to know that that's our taxi cab driver? Is it going to be safer for women to actually, safer for the driver and the passenger?
Hey, caller, can you please lower when you call in, please? Make sure you turn on the device on which you're listening to us on, so we're not getting feedback. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is on. Okay.
Thank you very much for asking a question. The way I can ask you, the reason why it's going to be safer, one question is, the first thing you have to understand, the taxi company, the taxi drivers are already people who have been screened by the state. They have they have a chauffeur license. They have an entire background. What we increase is just to bring that kind of rating. That's meaning quality services, because they didn't have at this point they didn't have enough quality services. In addition to that, when you are in a taxi, by using our application, you can send to anyone you know your direction.
Yeah.
That's mean anyone can follow where you are. So yeah. I think it's 100% safer. Another thing which we are going to include in the next development, we have just to add another point which I don't want to put on radio,
air.
But there is another secret which is going to make not 100, at least 75% for women to be safer while they're riding by using our application.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next call up. Can you please tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Yes.
Yes. Can you please tell us your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Sean Parker, and I'm calling from the south side of Chicago.
Okay, Sean, please go ahead with your question or your comment.
I had a question for Mr. Anthony.
Okay.
What does it take to be a married man with children and managing different businesses?
Wow.
Actually, an excellent question in terms of today's society. Really, I think what it takes to be a married man and also to manage multiple businesses number one, there has to be that trust and understanding between you and your spouse, and obviously constant communication to make sure that you guys are all on the same page in terms of everybody's schedule. It's not easy in today's society, but I believe it's just a matter of having a calendar and really live into that. And that's what my wife and I do. So we're constantly checking in with each other in terms of plans and itinerary. What are you doing this Saturday? What you got going on this day and that? And just being flexible also. As a businessman, one of the things that I learned is that the meeting doesn't start till you get there, right? So be flexible and just be willing to constantly juggle and use the technology to help you. Always plan ahead. And if you do that, I believe that you'll be able to prioritize and make sure that the important things are done first, and then all the other things will somehow find a way to get done.
Yes, Joshua, I did your question get answered correctly? I mean, to the satisfaction,
Yes,
sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a call on the line. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Sarah Herbert. I'm a student.
All right, Sarah, can you please go ahead with your question or your contribution?
Sure. My question is for Yolanda. I believe that's her name.
Yeah, Yolanda, yes.
Okay. Would you say it's like generational curses of like wanting to like have an extravagant wedding, but like we can't afford it, it's like black people or whatever. So like, a lot of times in black households you might hear, the grandparents say like, hey, we didn't get wedding planners because we couldn't afford them. So then it's like we grow up with these high expectations of having these big weddings, but we know we can't afford them because, for one, we were never taught how to save and things like that.
So I guess the question was, she's asking if it's a generational curse that black people like to spend, right? Actually, I don't want to misinterpret your question, so I'll have you ask again because she was complaining that she didn't actually hear the entirety of your question. So can you please give us, restate your question again?
Sure. I basically asked, do she think it's a generational curse of basically of black women basically trying to do things we can't afford because we want to, live up to the high expectations of what we see on TV or what we see through other people?
For some reason, I'm missing a part of your question. I only hear the question about the generational curse. What was the beginning again? I apologize.
I'm saying how let's say for instance let's say for instance my grandmother might say, hey, I hear you want a wedding planner, but you can't afford a wedding planner. But back in my day, we didn't need wedding planners. We did it ourselves, But I do believe if we were taught to save and save for things that's important like weddings, we can afford those things. I do believe that a lot of times at these weddings, we do need wedding planners. I have been to a lot of black weddings that was all over the place.
Correct. So that's one of the challenges that we face is trying to sell something that appears abstract to wedding couples, and then also it's great that we have inspirational boards and Pinterest and stuff like that. That's a great inspirational tool. But then what we also do is to try to help the client, try to make sure that they fully understand that what you see on Pinterest boards is not necessarily like reality.
Right.
You want to be very conscious of your budget and what you can afford.
Right.
You're getting into marriage. You don't want to get into marriage broke.
Exactly.
So the first one is being realistic. Great, you can see all the styles and visions on your Pinterest board, but let that be an inspirational board and be very realistic as to what can I afford. Like I previously said, you can have a beautiful wedding executed to perfection, and you don't have to break the bank for it. So a lot of it has to do with being realistic to yourself, and then being very real and do what you can afford, and don't be misled by what you see on inspirational boards such as Pinterest. It's just a guide.
Exactly.
Answers your question.
And maybe another piece to Sarah's question is that we have not been taught the culture of saving the right way, and which is what Anthony was alluding to. And so now that we, it's not too late, right, to learn to do these things.
No, it's not. It's not too late. And and I've learned the concept of paying yourself first. You pay God and then you pay yourself first, and then everybody else fall in line. Why? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to savings or investing, outside of the interest rate, obviously, that you're promised or that you plan to get, the biggest component is time, right? And you need to allow time to compound on your behalf, right? In fact, there's a concept called the rule of 72, and time compound interest is like the eighth wonder of the world, right? So you need to allow time to compound on your behalf as you're investing and saving for your future. So rather than paying all the bills and leaving yourself with nothing, rather what you should be doing is making sure that after, again, you pay God, you pay yourself, and then you pay everybody else. And whoever can't get paid at the end, they just can't get paid. Or unless you start to know where you need to start managing your resources a lot better.
Tony, briefly, Sarah, I hope your question was answered to your satisfaction.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for ringing us and contributing. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Please, let's try and get this caller. Hello, caller.
Hello? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, my name is Emma Brookins, and I am a student. And I sort of have two questions. I have one for the businessman, and for the wedding planner, for the wedding stylist, I should say.
Okay, you have one more question for the wedding planner, right?
For the wedding stylist, yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, the wedding stylist is that, I had planned my own wedding before because I had asked someone to check out the catering for a certain number of people, and they came back with a less amount. So I took on that task of planning my own wedding. And believe it or not, it was really something hard to do because it's all about timing and whatnot. And if I had to do it again, what could you tell me to convince me that I should use your service?
I would say that if you're looking for someone who is going to plan your wedding as though it was their own, then Belinda Temple Weddings and Events is definitely number one choice. But then I'll encourage you that for anyone who has plans, to plan their own wedding, you want to start this process at a very early stage. The more time you give yourself to plan this, assuming you're trying to do this yourself, the more time you start, you give yourself, the better it is for you, and the more likely that you're not going to feel overwhelmed when it's time for your wedding event. But for anyone who definitely, some people would love the wedding planning process, others don't. I plan my own wedding, so I can definitely relate to those who would like to plan their own weddings. It's great. But for others who cannot plan their own weddings, either seek the services, of a professional planner, or if you're fortunate enough to have friends or family who've gone through the same process and are highly organized, you can also consult them for assistance. So a wedding planner may not be for everyone, but to those who really need that extra help, you definitely want to make sure that you're consulting someone who would actually, help you with your wedding planning as though it was theirs. And
Belinda Temple also provides, extra services which will not necessarily, cost you anything. She does fringe services too, so she might just give you an advice, not just give you a service.
You mean consultation?
Yes, something like that. Free consultation, that's what I was looking for.
I mean, our process actually starts with an initial complimentary consultation, and then that's where we get to know what your goals and vision are, and then also to get to kind of figure out what budget you have. So, I mean, you can definitely take advantage of the initial free consultation, and then if you feel that you need more assistance, then definitely feel free to give us a call, or you can actually get on our website at www.belindatempleweddings.com.
Okay, we have another one more call on the line. After this call, we'll go. There are two questions on Facebook for Tony, and so please try and make it snappy for us because we're past 8:30 now, and we should be wrapping up in the next maybe 20 minutes. And there's a lot to do within this time. So, caller, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and please be snappy with your question if you don't mind.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first question goes to Anthony. So let's say I have $1,000, $2,000. What would you advise me to do in terms of saving? What would you advise I invest my money in?
You have $1,000, $2,000. Well, obviously we need to discuss more to figure out what your objectives are for that money. Obviously, if you need it for something very short term, that would determine. But one of the things that I can say that we're helping people do is at our academy, we're literally helping people tap into the foreign exchange market. And there is one of the places that I know for a fact that you can take something as little as 1,000 or 2,000, and with the ability to learn a little bit of how to invest and how to trade, we're able to help you grow that money. You can obviously do certain things in terms of buying some shares in different opportunities. There is a controversial opportunity right now in the marijuana industry. There's a potential for full-blown legalization across the country. So there are great opportunities there, obviously depending on how you feel about it, morally or ethically. But in terms of opportunity, that is one of the best opportunities currently right now, with Walmart, Coca-Cola, and several big players positioning themselves for the future.
Tony, so thank you for the answer. But caller, did your question get answered to your satisfaction?
Yeah, it was hard for me to hear him though. It sounded like he was very far away, so I didn't really hear what she was saying.
Yeah, what I was saying was that with $1,000 to $2,000, the first thing I would first like to get clarity, obviously, if we're sitting together one-on-one, is exactly what the objective of that money is in terms of investing. If you need something short-term, that would determine the areas that we put that money, right? But I think all of us already know that the traditional bank is not going to give you much return, right? So parking $1,000 or $2,000 in your traditional savings account, CD accounts, is really not going to keep up with inflation nor really grow to the satisfactory. What I can recommend, sitting here as a representative at Trade Nation University, is that we're now helping people take that same $1,000 or $2,000 or even $100, teaching them a skill set, giving them tools, and helping them tap into the foreign exchange market and being able to grow that money. At the same time, there are avenues in terms of buying certain shares that one can start to be able to learn to do that. And I gave you a few examples in terms of an emerging industry, which is what will soon be a full-blown legalization in the marijuana industry. You don't have to be, there are opportunities there in terms of companies that are positioning themselves, which right now you can get a lot of those on the ground floor. So great place to park money like that, $1,000, $2,000, park it there and leave it for the long haul.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And my second question goes to Belinda. Is it wise to, like, for example, someone is getting married, a lady is getting married. Is it wise for her to take out a loan from a bank, from a friend, for whoever, to fund her wedding? If she wants an elaborate wedding and she doesn't really have the money, do you think it's wise for her to, take a loan to fund her wedding so she can get that elaborate
wedding? Again, I think one of the challenges is that you see a lot of pictures and photos on Instagram, Pinterest. There are a lot of inspirational boards out there, and one of the challenges is that some people are not necessarily very realistic on what they can afford. Definitely a big no from me to take a loan, for an event. That is something that I personally would not advise anyone to do. What I advise you to do is to get help or get creative. Get creative, and you can equally have a well-executed wedding or other event without overspending. You just have to get creative. So absolutely no about getting a loan. Be very realistic. Live within what your means and get creative.
And the problem is, it's not everybody that is naturally creative, and that is why they need help with people who are creative like you.
Exactly.
Right.
Either that, or you tap into the resources of other family members, whatever it is, or friends. There's a lot of help out there. But then if you feel that you can't get that immediate help from your network of friends or family, then you may want to consider seeking a professional planner.
Okay. Yes. Just don't rely. Some family members might think they know it and might end up messing up your wedding. If they're not professional, yes, you can get advice. But for me, just like you pay for, like you said, if you need a plumber, you pay for the plumber. You don't try and, because, so pay for services that you're not good at. If you want quality, if you want perfection, the days where we do things small, mediocre, small. This one, let's try small, you'll be okay. No, I don't want to encourage that. If you can, you should do SWOT analysis on yourself. You know your weakness, you know your strength. Where you are good at, no problem. If you have weakness, look, get professional help. I hope your question was answered to your satisfaction.
Also, one of the benefits of having an efficient wedding planner is that they can also help you with your budget. We can an efficient wedding planner would help you identify the areas where most of your funds can go into, so that way you don't end up overspending or spending in an area where it isn't needed or necessary.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, caller. We would move on to the next topic.
Thank you.
You're welcome, caller. So we're getting feedback that there's an issue with the volume. I don't know if that was when Tony was talking or that was when Belinda was talking. Please let us know so that we can probably try and get our guests to reiterate their points, because these are very important information they're sharing. And so if you missed something, let us know who you missed it from. Is it my voice, Tony's, or any of our guests? Let us know so we can properly address that. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution so far, folks who have joined us on Facebook that are contributing. And I want to ask this question because this person posed this question and we haven't been able to. That's a question for you, Anthony. Okay. Yeah. I think that was Tony. That was when we couldn't hear it. So maybe when I ask this question, you can tie it into your last comment. That was regarding how you can put $1,000 into investment and whatnot. Okay. She says, for investing in the stock market, can you please explain levels of risk and what one can do if they have children? That's one question. The other question is they wanted you to explain what she says, can you explain what Roth IRA is? And then someone also wants to know what's the difference between traditionals and tax benefits. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, can you capsulate all this?
Okay.
You can?
I'll do my best.
I trust you. Okay.
In the short possible manner. In terms of investing, let's address the last question first.
Right.
In terms of savings for children, there are different things that you can do. In fact, one of the products that we've been recommending for children is what we called $1 Million Babies. These are high interest yielding accounts that are then also attached to life insurance products. So not only do they get protection from that side, but it's a safe and effective avenue for you to grow and save money for children, and at the same time understanding that money grown in a life insurance policy also avoids the taxes that is out there. It's actually the biggest tax break in the whole tax code, and most people don't understand. But there are products, Index Universal Life, different products that are very supercharged, where you can get very great growth, but at the same time, great protection.
And what are the risk levels?
Risk is really, as an investor, is based on individual. These products that I'm describing are more of contracts,
Okay.
Meaning that there are guarantees built into it,
Okay.
versus when you're just throwing your money directly in the market,
Okay.
where then you're subject to whatever happens. In these cases, the company actually gives you certain minimums and guarantees that they promise you,
Okay.
and that they go by those things.
And then the Roth IRAs.
So in terms of IRA and
Brief
Roth,
explanation.
all that is an individual retirement account. The main difference is that there are limitations, right? But the Roth IRA, the main benefit there is that if you do not touch your money before you're 59 and a half, it becomes you're able to then access that money tax-free, unlike your 401k, but if you do touch that money, it goes back and behaves similar to those 401ks where it's subject to the same taxes. But I mean, this is trying to make it as short and concise as possible. But again, these are questions that we would like to sit down one-on-one and give you a better, more in-depth based
explanation
on your strategy.
Okay, traditionals versus tax benefits. Is that even something?
Well, those are the key things, right? In terms of the tax benefits, the biggest tax benefit is that if you don't touch your money until 59 and a half, you're able to access that money and avoid the taxes on those things.
Okay, and then the last one is the last caller's question where people could not hear you with, which is, how do I invest $1,000? If I have $1,000 or $2,000 sitting right now,
okay,
what's the best way of investing it or making use of it?
Well, one of the things that I said is that will always be determined by the time frame in which that money is needed and what is the investment goal, right?
Okay.
But in terms of if I was to throw out, I think the example I gave at that time was $1,000 or $2,000. When you go into the stock market, with $1,000 or $2,000, there's really not a whole lot that you can buy or a whole lot of different companies you can invest in. When you look at companies that are trading almost at $2,000 per share or $200 or $50 per share, there's not a whole lot. So when you have $1,000 to $2,000, a great area, like I said, is what we're doing at the academy, where we're teaching people how to trade in the foreign exchange market. With $1,000 to $2,000, that's big money when you come to the foreign exchange market, where you can grow. So we can talk more about those. But if you're looking to invest in the traditional stocks, I threw out that right now there's opportunities in the full-blown legalization of the marijuana industry, where one can now get in at what is known as penny stocks, and be able to maximize that $1,000 or $2,000 in anticipation of a full-blown legalization, and then be able to profit off of that.
Okay, so Hagar Yabwa Ousu just joined us. Mansa Labi is also here. Mansa Labi, big up to you. Jocelyn Akofa Amenyo, big up, big up, big up. And then Rachel Leo is also watching us. Mausi MFR, thanks for joining. Johnny Woods is, as usual, here with us. Dominic Merhead, Daniela Walters, all listening. And then Sierra Miller says, Sierra Miller is also here. Big up to you, Sierra. And Rachel made a comment. She says, loan for a personal event is truly not a good financial decision. So glad that this is the event planner. So glad that the event planner nailed that point. All right. 15, what? Okay. It's about 10 minutes to 9 p.m. You are still listening to the Progressive Mind Show with your host, Alinko, on WGHC 98.3 FM, the first and the only African radio station here in the Midwest. We have the intent of bringing this to you week in, week out, and also having events that unites and promote peace and positivity in our society. So we're encouraging the entire society and the community to visit our website, wghcfm.org, and make the contribution to us. I said earlier, we're about 30,000 Ghanaians alone in the city of Chicago. If we get $1 from everybody, we will do very, very well. A few announcements here before we try to wrap up the show. Next, after this one, is the Igbo show called Straight Talk. Straight Talk is a deep political talk show which covers political issues from Africa, Europe, America, and all over. This is three wise, intelligent men who are very, very in depth with when it comes to political knowledge and other matters. You don't want to miss this one right after this show. On the 20th of October, the GPNA, Ghana Professionals of North America, they are organizing their Gala Awards. I think it's the first one of its kind. This Gala Awards is themed Achieving Financial Freedom, Benchmark for 21st Century Leadership. As the Saturday of October, and we have our own DJ Odikro and DJ Bonsu are going to be there to provide entertainment for us. Wanted to provide you with more information, but I just lost that. But yeah, you will want to contact the GPNA website. Just go on the GPNA website. There's more information regarding this event. You want to? I definitely can guarantee you that this is an event you don't want to miss. Very, very important, significant folks in the community. The Secretary of State is going to be there. Dorothy Brown and other very important dignitaries in our society are going to be present to help this occasion. Deep Page says, thank you, Yolanda, Belinda, Kenny, and Anthony. You guys rock. Santino says, I don't know what Santino is laughing at, but 5 minutes, 1 minute each. How can people get in touch with you and how can people reach you? We'll start from Yolanda. How can people reach you to give you support or need that you may require?
You could reach me on my Facebook page. I'm on Facebook, and you can contact me through there.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
What's the ID Facebook name?
Oh, my name is Yolanda Piper.
Okay.
You will see my picture there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, if you're not watching on Facebook, they don't know your face. So just assume that she's the one. Okay.
So far, just one.
She's one. Yeah. She's a pretty young lady. Okay. And she's the only one there. So
just one Yolanda Piper.
Okay, Belinda.
Alrighty, so you can reach us either by phone, which is 630-335-2462. Again, it's 630-335-2462. Or you can, access our website, www.belindatempleweddings.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. Please follow us at Belinda Temple Weddings.
Okay. Kenny, how can people reach you, and what else would you like us to know about Metro Ride before you leave the show?
Actually, what I want the public to know, I really urge them to contact us so that we can show them the financial projection for 5 years and the others document which show that our company is worth to be invested. So we ask the public to come and see us so that we can invest, so that we can grow our company not only here in the United States, also back home, because our technology is able to work back home because we don't need much internet to use in Africa. So if you want to reach us, you can go to www.metroride.com. That is RYDE. It's metroride, RYD.com, or you can just contact me through LinkedIn, or you can just call to 773-554-0932. If you want to write a check right now, you can also contact the radio. The radio will contact me.
Okay. We'll have 30 seconds so you can give us the last words. But before I go to Tony for so that you can tell us how we can reach Tony, I was trying to get information for the GPNA Gala Awards. As I stated, the theme is achieving financial freedom through the right connections and also the benchmark for 21st century leadership. The venue is at Marriott Midway Hotel Center, 6520 South Cicero Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60638. Music, as I said, the Odikro and DJ Bonsu will be helping us with that. MC will be a Juman. I'll be supporting this event. It's on the 20th of October. Some of the sponsors are Sankofa FM, and then I think this is Live. Live is by Felicia, right? Felicia, WGAC. Of course, we are definitely behind GPNA and their great works they are doing. Leadership, I love their leadership. Leadership team head by David Nkwame. Love this gentleman. David, you're doing a great work for the community. God bless you and your team. Reason, Victoria Timpo, Belinda. Did I say Victoria Timpo? Victoria? Yeah, Victoria Timpo. And then who else? Sarah. All the folks that are helping with the GPNA, making sure that things work. There's one other lady, Ablanvi. I don't know if I'm getting the name right. Thank you all for doing a great job for the community, and we hope that this event becomes a great success. Invite someone, okay? I think the gate fee is what, $50. Okay, $50. Invite someone and help make this event a wonderful one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll start from the lady again. Your closing remarks to our discussions or dialogue this evening. Closing remarks, 30 seconds.
Just trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, and acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path.
Wow. This is the best one so far, ever. Belinda.
Okay, I would say that, be very realistic on what your means are. Do not try to, engage in something that you cannot afford. So be very realistic, be very budget conscious when it comes to wedding planning. And if you feel, you need professional assistance, definitely seek one. Or you can also, consult us, Belinda Timpo Weddings and Events.
Okay. Did you give us your number already?
I did.
Okay. And your social
again.
media?
Yes.
Okay.
So Instagram, Facebook is at Belinda Timpo Weddings. You can reach us by phone at 630. Where's the other?
Okay.
630-335-2462. Again, it's 630-335-2462.
Okay. We have 1 minute, 2 minutes. I'll give you 1 minute out of that. Somebody asked a salient question, so I'd like you to answer that and then give us your closing remarks. Johnny Wood says, please touch on no-fee investments. Those hidden fees. There's always a hidden fee with this fee charged by most investment companies. So he wants you to explain that and then your closing remarks. Please, if you can just do this within 1 minute for me.
Well, when he talks about hidden fees, I think that is common with any investment, with money managers. That is their way of earning a living. And so in that case, there are fees in terms of any other investment that you do. But one just needs to be able to understand the fees involved versus the return that you're getting. To me, any investment, the biggest question is, what is my return on investment? And if your return on investment exceeds, what you've put in, and it meets your goal, then you should go for it. But always make sure that you're working with a trustworthy financial professional who always have your best interests at heart. So, again, we can be reached at 309-530-4004. I can also be contacted through Facebook at Ask Anthony, which is ASK Anthony, or through Instagram, also at I Teach Forex. You can reach me there in all those different platforms.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your contribution. We have learned a lot, we have heard a lot, and we have been informed. We also have been informed by the callers who chimed in, folks on Facebook. We so much are appreciative of your contribution and your involvement and your connection. This is the energy that we are striving to build in our communities so that together we can build our own. We thank you so much. This show was brought to you partly by Chateau Hair Products. If your hair is growing bald for some reason, or if you have dreadlocks and it's not looking good, it's breaking, or you have issues with it, if you want to go natural, Chateau Hair Products. They are all over. They are in Whole Foods. If you want to get to Chateau personally, you can reach Progressive Minds, info.progressiveminds@gmail.com, info.progressiveminds@gmail.com. My friend Selassie, my own brother Selassie, just joined us. I saw you a little bit late. Ajua Ofori, you are also here. Okay, God bless you for listening to us. We'll meet again next week, Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Remember, to whom much is given, much is required, and you have been listening to Alinko on the Progressive Mind Show at WGHC. See you. Bye-bye.